yeah, happy Thursday morning, and we're going to start on a mat. So again, welcome to Anya's Mountain Yoga. We're going to start gently. So I've not been doing yoga for a little while. I've lost my dad the last few months, and I've just got away from my practice. So I want to start. I want to make the most of lockdown. Many of us are not able to go to our normal classes, so this is going to be an opportunity to do some yoga, connect with some of you, and yeah, you'll help me do yoga, because once I commit to showing up, I will of course be here, and I would love to see as many as you as well. I know how much yoga has helped me, both to keep calm inside, but also on the outside, because I love being so active and being here, there and everywhere. Yoga really grounds me. Once I did it, I just felt so balanced. It was like everything just fell into place. So not saying it's going to do that for you, but I can only share what I have experienced myself. And obviously you get all the lovely, lovely benefits of the strength of the breathing. There's some philosophy, we can quickly touch on that as well, or we can dive deep into it. Meditation, just anything. Just let me know if there's anything you fancy doing, any specific time of the day, and I'll try to accommodate it. So let's start lying on our back. We'll just start by observing our breath for a minute. So lying down, your feet hip width apart, arms out to the side, kind of make some space for your armpits, palms turning up towards the ceiling, and just observing your breath. If you've got any lower back pains, maybe it's good to bend your knees. I'm just sitting here, or lying. So however's good for you, get yourself comfortable. You can have a blanket under your knees, anything. So let's breathe in and out through your nose. Inhaling all that oxygen and exhaling again. Just observing where the oxygen, the prana, all that life force and energy is entering your body. See if it's rising your chest or expanding your ribs. Where it's getting to, does it get all the way to tummy? Where does it get to? Can you feel yourself rising a bit off the mat? The whole lung, because the lung expand both at the top, the side and the back. Deep inhalation, deep exhalation. And trying to level it out. While we're here and we're not needing any extra energy, we should try to balance out the breath. So let's inhale for 3 or 4. And exhale for 3 or 4. Let's sit back up. Slowly easing yourself back up. So I'd like to introduce the ocean breath, the Ujjayi breath to you. So this is the breath we can use to really deep connect with our breath, and obviously the breath is the life. If we're not breathing, we're not living. So this is really vital. So to do this, it will sound like this. So I'm not sure you can hear this, but it's sort of, I'm restricting sort of the back of my voice box a little. The easiest way to explain this is taking a hand up in front of your face and just pretend that you're going to steam up a mirror. So take a deep inhalation through your nose and exhale. Let's do that again. Now we're going to try to do it without having the hand up in front of our face. So breathe in. And then let's try it without having our mouth open this time. It's the same again. Deep inhalation and exhale. it. So we'll inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. So anytime through yoga practice you can do this. I read a book once where I read that if you can't hold a pose without sort of coming out of breath or anything like that, then it's because it's too difficult for you. So observe your breath at all the time, really using it. It will really help you in all the poses and just bringing down that nervous system for you to feel calm inside. Right, let's get started with some movement. As well as breathing, I find movement really, really important. So sit on your knees hip width apart, and we're just coming into the child pose. If any time this practice is too difficult or you want a break, come into the child's pose. So knees hip width apart, like this, and you're just going to walk yourself forward. Arms side and front, or you can stack your hands under your forehead, or you can have the forehead on the ground and the hands behind you. Whatever's best for you. I prefer to have the hands out in front today to stretch out my shoulders. I'm just really walking the hands forward, making some movement, maybe in your hips. Just ease yourself into this. Make it a wavy, snaky child's pose. Just pretend you're a child. Children move how it's good for them. And we're going to pressing our glutes, our bottom towards the heels. And use your breath, really easing into this pose. So if we're doing yoga and practice, I would now be coming to press on your lower back and sort of your glutes down towards your heels. So imagine I'm pressing here. I'm really pressing your glutes down towards your heels. That's where you want to be. If your glutes are not touching your heels as well, you could use like a rolled up towel or pillows or something like that to get that connection so you feel grounded in this pose. From here, let's curl under our toes. We're going to lift our knees off the mat, pushing our glutes, our bottom back, hips up towards the ceiling, kind of walking the legs a bit, so taking little steps just to start getting some length and movement into your hamstrings. Mine are definitely tight as it's morning. We're going to have our ears by our biceps, spreading the fingers, putting an even pressure down through the hands. Walking here, pushing our hip up towards the corner of the ceiling, really. Let's inhale up to our tiptoes. Exhale, pushing your heels down towards the mat with no hope of them overreaching. Inhale up to your tiptoes. Exhale, pushing the heels down towards the mat. Let's do this 2 more times. Inhale, tiptoes. Exhale, heels down. Last time. Then gazing up towards your hands, looking where they are. You can either now walk up towards your hands or bend your knees and jump, whatever you want. I'm going to walk this morning, being kind to myself. So once we're here, just hanging out here, be like a rag doll. It's a forward fold. I've got my knees slightly bent as my hamstrings are not awake enough yet to have them straight. But you can do this with a straight leg, or you can bend your legs. Bending your legs, you're stretching more of your lower back. So if any of you got lower back pains, this is a really, really nice stretch. It's similar to the child's pose, but in standing. It's like grabbing hold maybe of your elbows. This will just stand, be a ragdoll. Twisting from side to side, making your head heavy. Just grounding down through your feet, leaning forward so you can feel your tummy on your thighs. If you can't feel your tummy on your thighs, maybe just making that bend in your legs until it's reaching. And bend your legs definitely for now, scooping your hands up and forwards, reaching forward, stopping here. So we're kind of in chair, coming up a little, nice flat back, gazing up towards your other hand. So my hands are again turning towards the corner of the ceiling. I've got a gap between my knees, but I'm still got really, really active legs. Now let's reach up towards the ceiling. Nice stretch. Oh, that first morning stretch. Oh, that's so nice. Oh, and relax. Right, let's do some sun salutations. So from here, the sun is up. We've missed the sunrise. I like doing sun salutations towards the sun and at sunrise. My sun rises over here. She'll also spare you looking at the sun. But if you know where the sun rises and if you can see it, if you want to do it outside in the garden, or just do it bare feet in the grass and watching the sun. It's amazing. Right, let's start here in mountain pose. I will start chatting. Hands out to the side again, palms turning forward. Your feet down underneath your hips and shoulders down. Just roll your shoulders a couple of times. Maybe just both ways. Let's get some movement in there. Oh, my head needs moving as well, I can feel. It's the only movement that's good for you. Let's ground there. Let's inhale in mountain pose. Free your nostrils. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reaching up towards the ceiling, really reaching up. Exhale, coming forward in that forward bend. Inhale, hands and shins, looking up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, stepping back with your right leg. You lower that right leg on towards the mat. We're just going to have a stretch here, so you can either have your hands on the mat, or you can coming up high here, having your hands on your thigh, feeling the stretch on your right hip flexors. Sorry, that's really tight. I'm struggling to speak through that. That's coming back, so we're having a stretch on the left foot. Oh, and please let me know. I'm trying to set the camera up so my left and rights are right for you to look at, but I'm not sure if I've succeeded. Exhale, coming forward again, planting your hands firmly down. Going to curl our back toes under and stepping into plank, gazing slightly ahead, making sure the creases on your hands are nice and straight with your line, with your top of your mat, lowering down your knees if you want. We're now going to place our elbows in towards our ribs as we're lowering down. We're going to lowering down so our chin and our chest is touching the mat, elbows in, and the bottom is sticking up in the air. Then we're going to lower the knees down onto the mat, having our hands by our chest, elbows in, and just gazing up slowly in a mini cobra. Remember, this might be your first back bend this morning, so just do it gently. Curling your toes under, so you can either come straight up into plank, or you can move back via child's pose and coming up into plank, either on your hands, on your knees. Let's pushing back up into a into downward dog. Let's reach our right foot up towards the ceiling or just off the mat. Again, gazing towards your hands. We can either kind of help lifting it there. So your right foot is now between your hands, or you can kind of lift your chest and making space for stepping up. Again, knee down, gazing forward. Nice open chest here. Then stepping your left next to your right. Another nice forward fold, seeing how your legs are feeling. Reaching your hands up, coming up via chair. Stopping here for a second. Reaching up towards the ceiling. Slight back bend if you want. And forward. Hands to heart center. And hands back out to the side. So I'm just moving around so you guys can see, hopefully from the best angle, but you don't need to do that. Standing mountain pose again. Let's inhale here. I can feel I'm out of breath, whether I'm talking too much or I'm moving too quickly for this time of the day. I will explore later. So inhale in mountain pose. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms towards the ceiling, reaching up, grounding down with your legs. Exhale, coming forward in a forward bend. Stepping back with your left this time, knee down, looking forward. Either hands on the mat or coming up high. Having a nice stretch. What's nice for me, I don't know if it's nice for you. Nice stretch of the hip flexor. I like stretching. It might not be nice, you might not feel it either, just depending how flexible we all are. Hands on the floor, let's do it as a plank. Either full plank, knees down, whatever's good for you. Again, spreading your fingers like a starfish. Knees down. We're going to go chin, chest again. So lowering down, knees into the elbows into the chest. Knees, not your knees, well your knees are down. Chin and chest down. Let's then release the knees, hands by your chest, up into a small cobra. Curling your toes under. Coming back, pushing up into downward dog. Paddling up here, lifting your left leg off the mat, maybe up towards the ceiling. Gazing between your hands. So visualizing you stepping it up there, or helping it by your hands. Knee down. Gazing forward again. Nice open chest. Shining that collarbone and your sternum forward. Proud pose here. Stepping your right next to your left, another forward fold, feeling how the body's loosening up maybe. Inhale, scooping your hands forward, reaching up towards the ceiling, squeeze your glute, backward bend, hands to heart center, and back into mountain pose. And breathe. I'm feeling a bit more warm now, hope you do too. We'll do a few poses. I know this might be a slow start for some of you, but I wanted to get everybody on board. So that's what we're doing. It's accessible for everybody. If you've got your own practice, know what you're going, just join in, do your own things in between and join us when you want. It's always nice to do yoga with other people. So make of the session what you want. We're going to go back to the chair pose. So standing with your feet slightly apart, sort of you can make a fist and then put the fist between your feet, and that's kind of a good width, so your hand fits there. So we're going to inhale, so you're inhaling up, making spaces in your vertebrae coming up and pressing down with your feet, really grounding down through your feet. We're going to inhale, scooping out our hands up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to sit down. So just pretend there's a chair behind you. You're about to sit on. You can even practice with a chair there. If you're struggling to do this, just put a chair there and then you can always sit down on it. So we're having it here. Any pains in your shoulders, lowering your arms down a little. You can gaze up between those hands. Again, making sure that you're active in your legs. If you've got a yoga block, you can place that between your legs, coming down here, and really squeezing that block. That kind of teaches you kind of how to engage your legs. This can also be a rolled up towel, anything like that, just to feel that engagement. So let's be here. So from here, let's step back with our right leg, make some space, and we should now be more or less into warrior one pose. So both our feet are turning forward. Again, let's scoop our arms up. I'm reaching up towards the ceiling. I'm down in my left leg here. Pushing my heel backwards. Making sure my knee doesn't flip in towards the middle of the side. It must be windy around here. You feel myself swaying. gazing up towards that, up towards the hands. Like, let's lower out a little, make the fist, squeeze it out, sort of coming forward, back up into standing. Reaching our hands up again, stepping back with the left this time. Feeling where they are, both feet turning forward. Maybe making a bit more of a gap, so it's a bit like you've got train lines, if you need it here. Inhale, and as you exhale, sinking in that front leg. That might be up here, just lowering down a little, or you might be down towards 90 here. Whatever's good for you. Just remember, you need to be able to maintain that breath. Brilliant. Let's make a fist at our hands again, reaching and pulling ourselves forward. From here, let's step back with our right leg. We'll swivel around to the other edge. So I'm now turning a bit the other way. My left foot is on a 45-degree angle, so hands up to shoulder height, really reaching out like somebody's pulling out the side of you. Inhale, up to straight legs. Exhale, folding in that right front leg. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, folding your right knee again. Again, really here making sure it doesn't come in. So you want it nice and straight. You don't want it coming in. Nice and straight here. Inhale again here. Exhale, coming down. Really reaching with the hands. Gazing over your right middle finger. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, one more bend here. Inhale, coming up. Turning your feet towards the middle of the mat. Exhale, folding forward. Hands on the mat. Maybe fingers in line with your toes. In, just folding forward here. Nice. Bend your legs. And coming back up into standing. Tiptoeing your legs together. And another forward fold. Let's fall down. That's placing your hands firmly on the mat. Stepping back into plank. From here we're going to come into side plank. So maybe placing your left hand in the middle of the mat. And you can swivel onto your side of your feet. Coming up. We can also bringing down our left leg onto the mat. Now I've got my right foot on the mat here, reaching up there, gazing up towards the other hand. Or somewhere in the middle of that is where you're here. Ooh, trying to think. And then, or you just got a foot in front of the other, so you got a bit more stability, rather than having them stacked on top of each other like that. That's clearly too difficult for me. So I shall have my leg there today. There we go. So inhale here. Exhale, reaching up towards the ceiling. Let's swapping side. So you can plant your right arm down onto the mat. Maybe got your right knee onto the mat. Reaching up with your left. Either gazing right ahead, or if you want, you can gaze up towards that other hand. Brilliant. That's placing both hands down onto the mat, stepping back into another plank. Let's push our buttocks back up towards the ceiling. Another downward dog, seeing how that is feeling now. Gazing towards your hands, either walking or jumping up towards your hands, reaching your hands forward, coming up via chair, stopping there for a second, reaching up towards the ceiling, slight back bend if you want. And we're going to come into a balance pose. So this balance pose is the tree. It's also a hip opener. So let's ground down through the left. Then take your right knee up towards your chest, squeeze it in, then bring it out to the side. You can either place, with the hip now open, you can either place your foot on the floor, on your inner quad, that's not your quad, that's your calf, by your shin, or you can placing it up on your inner thigh. So from here we're thinking about having our right hip open. We're also thinking about pushing our right foot and our outer left leg together. So this is now the tug of war, as well as you're pressing down with your left foot together, balance. It's reaching our arms up and above. Again, if this is causing you any pains in your shoulder, please don't do it. We can be a wavy tree, we can be an autumn tree. Yesterday when I was doing some yoga, I was being trees of all seasons. So I was being a shooting tree. And then flowering in the spring, nice, proud, full of leaf trees. In the summer, losing all the leaves in the autumn. And then quite a bare tree in the winter. Just playing with your balance. Be whatever's good for you. Oh, my body wants to stretch this a little bit. Oh, it can be a flexible tree. What are those rubber trees called? Wonder if they're flexible. Oh, here we go. So let's take our leg up towards our chest again, lowering it down onto the mat. We're now going to spread our toes on that right foot, grounding that foot down, taking our left knee up towards our chest, give it a hug here, hugs are good. Then let's open it out to the side, either placing our foot on the floor by our shin, to the side, or sort of on the seam of our inner thigh. Reaching your hands up towards the sky. You can either have your hands here in the classical pose with the palms together and your biceps by your ears, or you can have them wherever you want. Just do whatever you want. Be a swaying tree again. I was trying to do a tree on top of a mountain the other day, and it was so windy. I just couldn't stand still. I was literally being blown over. So that was interesting how nature also has a force on us. Inhale through your nostrils, exhale. Oh. Try to close your eyes for a minute, see what that does to you. Don't be scared of falling. Let's just challenge your balance. The more we challenge our balance, the more we'll have it as we grow older. Excellent. Okay, invite you to open your eyes again. Hugging your knee into your chest and placing it gracefully back down onto the floor. A few more poses here. Let's just come back onto the mat, lying on our tummy. So maybe it's a plank and lowering yourself down. From here, we'll have our palms by our hips, pushing down into the mat. Inhale, as you exhale, lifting both feet off the floor. And lowering them down. And maybe bend your knees to 90 degrees or so. Inhale, as you exhale, you're now lifting your legs, but more from your hip area. So your thighs are coming off the mat. Feel how that might be different. And lowering back down. Let's taking our arms up above our head. Inhale, and as you exhale, lifting your arms off the mat. Inhale, head back down on the floor. Exhale, lifting your arms. Inhale, head back down on the floor. This time we're going to try to lift both our legs and the arms. bent 90 degrees still. A few breaths here. If it's too difficult to do both, just choose to do one or the other. And relax back onto the mat. If you can, maybe trying to reach backwards again, a bit like a shark this time. Think about your elbows being the fins. I've done too much physio with kids and children, but I like playing. So either reaching backwards, reaching towards your ankles, or if you can, grabbing hold of your ankles. Inhale, and as you're exhaling, lifting your legs and your chest off the floor, pushing your legs into the hands, and maybe just breathing out, and relax down. Let's roll onto our back. We've got one last pose, and then we'll just relax for a minute. So we're going to have our heels close to our buttocks. We're going to have kind of robot arms. So bending your arms 90 degrees, palms turning towards each other. And we're going to press our upper arms, our triceps into the ground. Inhale here, as we're exhaling, lift your lower back, your middle back and your upper back. Making sure your knees are staying in line with your hips. Pressing your upper arms into the floor. Squeezing your glutes. Looking up towards the ceiling. And breathe here. See if you can see your chest and your tummy rising and falling. And lowering down your upper back, your middle back and your lower back. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Hugs are good. And it's hugs. Looking forward to one day we can all hug each other again. And I always say this, but hugs are good, but they really are. And I think this time to make me realise how vital it is, especially, well, definitely for me. Right, let's place our feet down towards the mat. Palms, or like soles of your feet together, and then drop your knees out to the side. So you're like in this position, and then dropping your knees out to the side. Arms out to the side, and a deep sigh. Inhale through your nostrils. Deep sigh out. Just letting go of anything that doesn't really serve you. Just breathe it out. If you feel like you need any support under your knees, again you can use a yoga mat, a pillow, rolled up towels, blankets, anything like that. So you can put like a block or something there so you feel supported. Let's just observe our breathing here again for a minute. So just letting go of any control over your breathing. Just checking in how you are now. Do you feel any different to when we started? Just observe where the breathing goes in, where it enters into the body, how it enters, how you feel when you exhale. Are you emptying the stomach? But just be natural. Maybe placing a hand on your tummy and your heart, and you can feel the rise and lowering as well. Hug your knees back together, meeting in the middle. One last hug, rocking from side to side. So now they're coming onto your side and pushing yourself back up to seated, or you can hold them to under your thighs, just rocking up a bit and coming up into seated here. Just placing our knee either to sit in any comfortable position, or I like to have the heel towards my groin and the other heel in line with that heel. Again, you can prop things up under your knees needs be. Hands to heart center. Inhale up nice and tall. Exhale again. Namaste. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you for getting me back to the mat. Yesterday I felt like I needed some fresh air, so I went for a walk. But also down by my local walk kind of thing, there's always a lot of rubbish, so I decided rather than being upset about all the rubbish yesterday, I took like a litter picker with me and a big bag, and I filled it and I recycled all the cans and bottles when I got back, and I felt really good about myself, and kind of gave myself that glow, doing something good for the world. So I invite you to do a selfless act today. This is also part of yoga, doing selfless act. It's called Karma Yoga, and it's part of the 8 limbs of yoga. So just do something today, something that makes this day count for you or for somebody else. Not Karma Yoga, obviously, for somebody else. But just be good to yourself. Do something that makes you happy, keep moving, keep smiling, hug the people that you can, and see you back on the mat soon. I'm hoping to put on a session probably tomorrow or Saturday, but I'll post it as soon as possible. I'm going to go for a swim, a cold dip anyway. That makes me feel alive, so that's what I shall do. Nice to have you all with me this morning, and I shall see you soon. Take care. Send me a message if there's anything you want to be working on in yoga, if you want more philosophy, if you want me to talk less, if you want a fast flow, a slow flow, just let me know what time of the day is good for you. Just take care, and I shall see you all soon.